All right. Hi. I'm Ash. I'm a person in recovery, proud home group member of All Night Place. And I'm here with that's you, Nika.
Nika. I am a proud member of an all night place, but also a secular meditation meeting. Glad to be here.
So first and foremost, I owe a huge thank you to this home group. Um, I wrote this down because I knew this is the part I'd stumble over the worst. For sponsoring my trip to ICSAA, which was in Orlando, Florida, about 2 weeks ago. I have been making gratitude lists off and on for the past few weeks, and this has been in my top 3 for every single one of them. And even when I got a little squirrely and didn't feel like I deserved this, there was a group of people who would tell me I did and, squash my imposter syndrome. And I'm starting to believe it. I think I might believe it now. Anyway, I'm really excited that Nika and I are doing this because it's really hard to tell y'all about what happened. There's so many people we love and want to share this with. And
Yep.
yeah, let's
Same for me. I think not many people know this, but less than 4 weeks before the conference, I got in an extreme car accident and was pulled from my vehicle and stitches in my face, bruises all over my body. And I too was like, I don't deserve this. I was sponsored by my morning home group, a secular meditation meeting. And literally up until like a week before, I really didn't feel like I deserved to be there either. But as you'll see, we both deserve to be there and it was worth being there. So, yeah, gratitude to my home group as well. And for you guys sending Ash with me because we were thick as thieves.
so I know for me personally, meeting AANP home group members last year was hugely impactful for my sobriety. It was an indescribable experience. And Nika, what was it like meeting your recovery group or your recovery partner?
Oh my gosh. So my recovery partner and I have been working together for over 17 months and we talk every day via chat, phone, text. And we meet weekly for an hour and a half. And she literally knows more about me than anyone on this entire planet. She probably knows more about me than myself, to be honest. And to actually get to meet her in person just solidified the bond that I knew was already there. And it was a good, like, 5 minute happy cry hug. And it was sloppy and beautiful. And I will not ever forget that experience to actually hug and be in contact face to face, eye to eye with the person that knows me more than anyone in this whole entire world. So yeah, it was pretty magical. So yeah, I don't know. How was it for you though? Like you went there, not knowing a whole lot of people, but you left there knowing like 10 million people. Like, did you feel accepted and like welcome by the experience?
Holy crap, yes. So this was a completely different experience for me. 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I would not have imagined I could have done this. Um, I used to be real shy, but it turns out, if I'm talking to an addict, it's way easier. And also, as soon as I got a couple people coming up to me here and there, and they're like, "Did you get the job? Congratulations on the new job." And I was like, and it took a second to connect the dots because they weren't someone I recognized right away. And just in that moment, it was weird, and then it was gone. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, F it. I'm gonna be me because these people have probably seen me stimming on screen before and crying, and I don't even know who has and who hasn't. So I got to wander around like a lost no, I don't even want to say lost puppy because it was so great. It was so strangely beautiful to not really know many people. Like Nika, we haven't we're both in the same place, and this was the first time we met. We're both in Sacramento. But I yeah, it was just I lost my train of thought. Oh no, I dropped it. it was really neat just being able to meet people, and I'm like, I'm not cheating on All Night Place, but I might be a home group member in 2 other home groups now, including her meditation group in Tusnua.
Well, I know
Um,
you mentioned walking around and you saw someone with a blue lantern, you know, so we had the blue lanterns and it was like you just knew, like we're in elevators, and by the way, there was 3 conferences going on that weekend. Ours, the Smut Fest, and the Christian conference. And the irony was not lost on anyone. So yeah, I'm glad that you felt welcome. I felt welcome. It was a beautiful experience. You got to host your first like writers meet, like on an international conference level. How did that go for you?
Fantastic. It was just as beautifully awkward as it is in the meetings. As far as interrupting and people sharing, and it was so incredible to hear other people like fresh voices, because it makes me so happy. And one of the reasons I loved running that creatives meeting is just hearing people shares that they came up with, the like art they had inside them that a lot of you love to not call art or call yourselves writers, and you're artists and writers. Um, it was it was strange though, because we were in a big room, like a big square like the tables are facing each other. Um, and I wound up doing it mostly by myself.
Yes, you
I'm not
did.
trying to like take that. Julia, invited. I was invited to co-host this comp or co-facilitate this
Oh,
meeting.
you hosted that thing. Hmm.
So it was flying by the seat of my pants, like I am now, and I really, I really thought it was great, and it was such a comfort having Nika's face there. Um, Nika, you were supposed to speak on a panel, right?
Yeah,
What
I
happened
was. I was gonna speak on my home groups panel. But I hadn't talked to my daughters in over 5 days, and I got a video call like 10 minutes before I was supposed to be on that panel. And that's the thing about sobriety and about life, you know, live the life that AA gave you. um, I had to make an executive decision. There was 4 of us on the panel, and it wasn't structured in a way that there would be a gap if I wasn't there. And when my daughter called me, I went ahead and took that call. And to me, that was a decision I made, and I don't regret that. And luckily, my home group is so supportive. They absolutely did not miss a beat. The room was packed. They got the message across, and I had nothing but support from everybody. And I wish I could have been there, but I would not trade that time with my daughter for the world. But yeah, it was worth it. It was a good chance to step away. Speaking of step away, I know you stepped away for a second to see some really important things that mean a lot to you.
I
Can you tell me about
did.
that?
I did, but I'm gonna rewind just a little bit. There was a joke that they didn't even make time in the schedule for us to pee. It was jammed
Yes,
so
no,
tight. And
yes,
I know, because
yes.
I was sponsored to go, that I felt this really intense pressure to make sure I saw as much as I could, take as many notes as I could so I could come back and tell people about it. And I did, but like anybody's in my Dungeons and Dragons group can tell you, I am garbage at taking notes, y'all. I'm real bad at it. But one of the things I really loved was that it was just like, it was more than okay to step away. Like, everybody there knew how important self-care and time was. Like, take what you need, don't overwhelm yourself, don't burn yourself out. I'm sure I'll like touch on this again, but there was so much outside of the actual like speakers and panels and stuff that I learned, and that was one of my absolute favorite things, was just somebody went to take a nap, and they did that, and it was fine, and it was good. Um, but yes,
Yeah, that
Friday.
I think I had to learn that. I did have to learn that. I think, I had to learn that. I wanted to cram it all in too. I wanted every hour to be utilized. I was sponsored to go there. I wanted to get everything I could. And guess what? After trauma class, it was so beneficial, so much beautiful information, but a lot to process. And I am grateful that you showed me how to step away and how to take a break because I had to tap out. And how did you spend your break?
Um, oh, I was big on the napping and the pool. We just missed the hurricane, by the way. It was whoosh, we just missed it. I think it rained for about 30 seconds. Um, you said trauma class. That's so accurate. Um, I did tend to go to, I don't want to say like the lighter meetings, but like I'm a novelty person. So like this, I got 5 pages of AA slogans, and they are ridiculous. Like one literally is, here we go. A closed mouth doesn't get fed, but a closed mouth gathers no foot. So anyway,
There
lots of
you go.
wise stuff in there. And one of the first things we saw was Joe C's Staying Sober Without God, author, his Chime,
Connection,
discussion.
hope, identity, meaning, and empowerment. Hmm.
And what really hit me hard was that was the end, that was in the evening of the first day. And the first day I took a field trip by myself, and that was crazy. Like I last minute decided to like get a car because I knew it'd help a lot of people out and I could do a cool thing and like give people rides and stuff, but I love manatees. I don't love picking favorite colors or animals, but manatees are, in fact, one of the first animals I remember being obsessed with. Chubby mermaids, dugongs, sea cows. I love them. Um, and I was just gonna go and hang out at the Doubletree Hilton, and that was gonna be fine. I was excited. That was great. But my inner child was screaming, so I drove for like, this may not sound like anything to a lot of you, but this is so outside my comfort zone or anything I ever thought I would have done. I just took off that day and was like, I'll be back when I need to be, or like, and Nika was keeping me in the loop. And um I guess it actually started 2 hours late because they didn't have coffee. So that's
So
very
AA. So
yeah.
AA.
Um, but I went to this place, I looked it up, it was an hour and a half away. And I get there and they're like, 0 manatees today. And I was like, well, I just dropped a big old thing in my home group chat about seeing manatees. And I really want to see manatees. It's a little bit for them, but it's mostly for me. And I asked and they pointed me down the road. And at that point I was like, I am gonna be late. Oh no, I'm gonna be late. I don't know where I am. I'm in Florida, driving around, don't know where I am. But I saw manatees at this, like, it was a national park, but they did rehabilitation there. So there was always 3 or 4 manatees. I saw a hippo. I've always wanted to see a hippo. That was a surprise. And I got to just like walk around by myself and take all the time in the world, which really wasn't as long as I thought it would be. But the gift shop, I got to go to the gift shop by myself and do whatever I wanted. And it was so, this is coming around. There's a point. The E of Chime is empowerment. And it's, as he was talking about it, I started crying because I realized that's what it was. And that was something that I've been able to grow in sobriety, but it was just such a clear, beautiful example. And
Mhm.
yes, I cried like a child, like a baby when I saw a manatee for the first time. And I've only cried from happiness like 3 times. So
Didn't you like see a turtle riding a manatee? I mean, like a little extra, right? A little
I,
cherry on the sundae.
yeah, I do have pictures of that somewhere. There was definitely a
Nice.
turtle riding a manatee.
And
Um,
speaking of empowerment, that's like one thing I really got out of this conference. Not only that chime, that was great by Josie, the connection, hope, identity, meaning, and empowerment. That was a common theme, there was self-parenting. I know that there was a speaker that brought up self-parenting, and that was really empowering for me, just understanding that a lot of people come through that didn't have what they needed growing up and in life. They did not have what they needed, and how at some point it's on us to provide what we need for ourselves. And that's something I'm still very much working on. And so that was a very great common theme that I found throughout the conference. And it got overwhelming though, because to be self-reliant takes a lot of effort. but it's totally worth it. And I left with a lot of empowerment. We did stay up way later than we should have every single night. I'm not gonna lie, right? But
Yeah. We absolutely tried to make sure that we made the wheel of sobriety on Friday night. It is very late. Kudos to you East Coasters and beyond, because that's a different beast out there. It's only 10:30 here or something right now. But I 10 of 10 recommend sober friend sleepovers. And I'm gonna say sober plateau. I'm not gonna go the other direction, but like hanging out with Nika was so fun. Just like, I don't know. We spend so much time getting drunk and like passing out at friends' houses, right? And like good or bad things, I don't know, whatever. But you think that you're not gonna have that much fun again. And like I was like laughing till my sides hurt, and we got to like talk and gossip, and it was just so fun. Um,
I think that drives home the point of like, these rooms are amazing. These connections are amazing. And without these connections in the Zoom room first, we would have all been strangers standing in a room being like, hi. So that's not to take anything away from Zoom, because we started building these hard connections here. And to see them come full circle in person just adds to that. It does not take away. And if we didn't have these foundations here in these rooms with all of these people that we love, it would have not been the same experience if we had not done this groundwork here together over the past years. And so, yeah, it is funny. We live what, 10 minutes away from each other, but it
12
took us
minutes.
an
Yep.
Orlando, yeah, it took us to be in an Orlando airport to meet in person. But then we were thick as thieves, and all weekend we stayed up and had the most beautiful conversations, the most amazing experiences, a perfect combination of together and independence. And it was absolutely beautiful. So, what would you say was your favorite part about the conference?
Hmm. Sorry for that little vocal stim that slipped out there. There was a lot of things. Honestly, one of my favorite things was when Mike G's music, he had people, he invited people up to okay. He started off like improvising and showing off these cool different instruments and like looping, and it was amazing. And then it turned into inviting people up to play on these instruments, like who'd never touched things before. There was a theremin. It was cool. And then it turned into this like jam session all night, and like somebody brought lights, like lights, like fun party lights, and the whole convention center,
Projector,
like they
yeah.
turned off the lights and those were on, and like he's playing like Pink Floyd and stuff, and I'm just sitting there doodling with like in my weird little position, and like it was just rad to
Mm.
sit there and veg out, and it was all these experiences that I haven't gotten to do sober, and just getting to fully enjoy them and feel safe while I was doing them and welcome and just like so not weird. It
Yeah.
was wild.
And I think he had what, Jimmy from Tasnua there
Yeah.
jamming out too, all the way from Ireland. That was beautiful. Like the Irish contingent came in strong. Tasnua came in hard, and that was beautiful. Speaking of Tasnua, so my home group got to do our very first hybrid meeting ever, a secular meditation meeting. We did our first hybrid meeting where everyone at the conference, people that never have been in attendance of our meeting, got to participate while we had our regular home group on a laptop. And that to me like blew my mind, to see our home group actually get to be a part of ICSA when they couldn't be there, or and so I know you were able to attend Tisnua's very first hybrid meeting too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a trip. I have dabbled in Tusnua before. I love the writers meetings. I'm a fan of, but I feel like they took me in under their wing. Everybody did. It felt like the good parts of church, like what I want, like we just walk in, everybody's like, "Hi, you're here," but like with a lot more swearing and good stories. And it was ours was it was chaotic, but it was great. Everybody had their own like cell phones out and stuff, and they would just like mute and go around. But it was so amazing to be a part of it. And it seems so strange also though that we're all used to the Zoomiverse. So I'm like, you guys, I met them in person
Mhm.
and then I hung out with them online.
Yeah.
What? What?
Super
That's not
reverse move,
that's not
right?
right. Yeah.
No,
Um
I found them to be super inviting. I got to meet my personal hero, Jeb, the ever grateful Jeb. So many amazing experiences. And yeah, watching you at your writers meet, getting to participate, seeing everyone's take on the topics was amazing. You ran that so well. I just thought it was overall a great experience. I do take away some lessons that yeah, maybe don't try to make every hour, maybe give myself an hour off here and there, because it's a lot to process. It's great information. The experience, strength, and hope is amazing. So for anyone that doesn't know, this weekend there's going to be the biannual ICSAA meeting. It's virtual, and we get to vote on where the next in-person ICSAA conference will be. It's 2026. I'm going to put some links in the chat, not only to some photos, but where you can attend this meeting this weekend. And we get to decide where the next conference is. So if you want it to be close to home, show up and make your voice heard. And so I'm going to drop those links in the chat. So Ash, would you go to another conference?
yeah, hell yeah, I would. And I really hope next time I can be refilling the karma jar and like helping someone else go because I am still in disbelief that I got to do all this. Like we're over here in California and y'all sent me across the country and it was life-changing and beautiful. How about you, Nika? You gonna try to go in 26?
Absolutely would. I could not go without the sponsorship of my home group. Absolutely would not be a possibility. But yeah, you know what? Even if I didn't ever get sponsored again, I wouldn't expect to. I think that's something I would put pennies away in a jar for because I would not trade that experience for the world. Meeting people that I have seen every day for years in person, there's just an understanding, especially in a program like Alcoholics Anonymous. There's just an understanding. There's an unwritten, unspoken understanding. When you meet the people that you love, especially my recovery partner, getting to hang out with you, Ash, just life changing. And so, yeah, I recommend it to anybody. Get out there and vote. Hopefully, it's close to your hometown. Hopefully, there's more sponsorships available for those that didn't get to attend this year. I hope to see everyone in 2026. Next year will be virtual, so get on it. But other than that, yeah, um, had the best time. Thank you, Ash. You made it like you were 50% of that amazing experience. So,
You were 51%, Nika. No, it really was great. I'm so grateful to everyone. There's so much I want to say, but the way I talk is how I heal it. It's not linear and it won't be quick or easy.
well, do
So
you want to just say one quick thing about how amazing it was, but how hard it is to come back and transition after such an amazing experience? I think we deserve for the audience to know that there is a great peak, but for every great peak, there is kind of a healing that needs to happen after that, a transition, an adjustment back to something, kind of like hero syndrome. You save lives and all this, and then you get back to the day to day, and it's hard to reacclimate per se. Do you have something you want to say about that?
yes, I do. So last year when I got to come, I went on a trip to meet some home group members. Coming home was rough, like super rough, because those were people who'd hurt my deep, dark, my ugly. They, and it was a shock feeling, just like the absence of anxiety and like awkwardness for an entire weekend, and then coming home and just getting back to real life. And it's not that normal vacation crash either. It's it's just so strange to be like, I was like, you know, near this person. And I thought that this time would be a little smoother because Nika again, like 12 minutes away from me. So I was gonna get to hang out with her when I came back, but I got attached to quite a few people on accident. And I've been to a whole lot of meetings this week because I don't know, it's just truly wild how easy it is to connect with people. And coming home, don't you know, it's just like everybody was trying to do the next right thing, and like everybody just wanted to be like hear you and be heard and respectful. And yeah, I don't know, but I did get some good advice from, so the introduction was I met Nika in the airport, and then I met a completely different person who I did befriend, and we exchanged contact information, and they said something terribly smart and wise, and I stole it. And I don't know if they want me to drop their name, but I kind of want to, but I don't also. But basically, like, these are like core questions to ask yourself when you're coming back from something like that, or you're feeling like something is just so starkly different, like you're coming back down. I've made the joke about meeting up with fellowship being a trip up to the pink cloud on an elevator, and the goal is to ride the elevator down or to take the stairs carefully down, not to fall off or to eat shit coming down the stairs, which, sometimes happens. But just basically, how can you preserve that feeling that it gave me, which was like safety and like, I don't know where my rejection sensitivity dysphoria went. I truly just didn't even notice or care if somebody wasn't going to like me. It was wild. How can I bring this back? How can I do to make my life look more the way I want it to? And how can I stay connected and open? And I think the reason that, I mean, I did have a rough week. A lot of you heard that sobriety sneaky. Uh Tempting the, yeah. Close call with a relapse this week, but it didn't because almost doesn't count, right? Right. But oh no, I dropped the topic again. I dropped my point. It's on the ground somewhere.
There's a certain level of grieving. Like for me too, there's a certain level of grieving when you finally get to be in person, not only with people you know and love for years, but new people that just spark your energy and your interest. And like I said, we're there for a common good. And like you said, I wish everyone was on that path of self-reflection and love and development, and there is a sense of grieving when you go from being around literally everyone around you, hundreds of people around you, including the Smut
Yeah, I
Fest.
was gonna say it. I was gonna say it. They were rad. They were
Everyone's all
rad.
about like discovery and self-love. And then you get back home and you're just like, oh yeah, that's right. Real life. Damn. No, there is a sense of grieving. And I think that's totally normal. And I'm glad that we still have these online meetings because I've heard you speak about it. I've spoke about it. That return to normal can be a rough transition. And so as amazing as a conference is, there is a transition getting back. But yeah, I still wouldn't trade it for the world. Would you?
Absolutely not. I saw manatees.
Yeah.
And I met a lot of wonderful people and feel good about my sobriety, but manatees. Um
Manatees. At the end of the day, there was a turtle riding a manatee, y'all. So thank you guys. Honestly, thank you guys so much for letting us share. Thank you for sponsoring me a secular meditation meeting. Ash,
yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot say thank you enough. I will be eternally grateful. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to like make this next part question answered, but I'm sure I missed some stuff. Or if you have questions, I'm sure Nika and I would be happy to answer them whenever.
absolutely. Or just
But
share. As always, every
oh,
meeting, the
that's what I
topic
meant.
is sobriety.
I bet, yeah, I meant later. I'm not trying to like steal this experience, strength, hope time after this. Uh, okay. Well, I'm gonna awkwardly
Yeah.
sign off.
Love you guys. Love you,
Love
Ash.
you guys.